In this recap video, we will be looking at VP Sara. Ano yun? VP Sara, sumusuko na. Kiboloy, ni-raid na naman. Go Sister at Cassandra Ong, hinuli na naman. At marami pang iba. Kumusta for me? This is Avor Joseph and welcome to News Time Worthy Recap Weekly Edition number 66. We have done to cover since last week, so skip the tasks provided if it piques your interest. Get the data for the places selected summation. Here are some page news commentary for your convenience. VP Sara sumuko na. Nang mag-umisa ang House interpellation para suriin ang proposed budget ng Office of the Vice President, biglang naglabas ng bombshell ang ating butihing Vice Presidente.
Madam Chair, all the answers are... wala yan doon sa opening statement. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer.
She said na she will be foregoing and waiving her right to answer or defend the proposed budget sa isang meeting sa Kamara to scrutinize the budget na galing sa Kaban ng Bayan. And that's why I said galing sa Kaban ng Bayan, because I want to emphasize the fact na parang gusto niya, entitled siya sa budget na yun, na it will be a rubber stamp, that the Congress would be a rubber stamp for everything that she wants to accomplish or even just want to approve of, or let them be a rubber stamp to approve of whatever she wants to do. I mean, what the fuck? Diba? Tinatanong kasi siya kung sino yung editor ng kanyang criminalized book na isang kaibigan that, if you remember from last week, ay nag-cause ng isang malakihang alingaw-ngaw, particularly because of the sagutan na nangyari between Senator Risa Antiveros and the VP patungkol sa hindi niya pagsagot ng tama sa mga tanong ni Senator Risa, claiming politicization when all she did was ask tungkol saan ang libro. Ilan ang ipamimigay na libro? And this would not be a thing. Like, this would not be as big of a thing if sinagot niya na lang kung ano yung libro, ano yung laman ng libro, ilan ang pamimigay na libro, ilan yung i-order para sa publication ng libro. Hindi kasi siya sanay na may nagsuscrutinize kahit papyaw lang sa kanyang budget. I mean, tinanong na siya again and again. Ano ang laman ng libro? What is the book all about? Same thing goes with what happened last year sa mga taong or tanong patungkol sa kanyang confidential fund budget na umabot sa 650 million na confidential at intelligence fund proposed. Hindi pa natin sinasama yung Commission Audit Report kung saan parang dinidisallow yung kanyang paggamit ng 75 million, I think, of the confidential fund na kinuha sa isang contingency fund galing sa presidente nung walang confidential fund na iniwan si Vice President Lenny Robredo, because again, she has not, and even Binay has not had much or even at all confidential funds because they don't really need it. And 650 million confidential fund, halos ganun nakalaki yung budget ni VP Sara Duterte, ni VP Lenny Robredo back then. Tapos gagamitin mo na siya sa confidential at intelligence fund. I mean, what the fuck? Diba? Pero bakit niya nga ba ginagawa ito? Bakit niya sinasabing ayaw niya na depensahan ang kanyang budget? Ayaw niya nang makipagsalita ng, idea at, try to defend to the Filipino people kung ano yung gagawin niya sa pera natin. Well, there's basically two schools of thought na naglalaban here. Either talagang ayaw niya na lang talagang sumagot dahil baka magkaroon pa siya ng magkaroon ba siya lalo ng bad press more than what she already had incurred since coming into office at pakikipaglaban sa administrasyon na tinulungan niyang manalo back in 2022 with the Uniteam days. Kumbaga parang siya yung nagiging divider, or what do you call it, yung nagkakos ng great schism between the loyalist Marcos Jr. thingamajig and the DDS. Kumbaga siya yung schism, siya yung nagkakos ng schism to pull them apart when all they actually proposed and kind of rammed onto as their political platform to be unity. And now, she's breaking that promise. Kumbaga, unity na nga lang yung yung plataforma mo, tapos hindi mo pa susundin, hindi mo pa itutuloy at least until the end of his term. Nabugbog siya ng media at ng ating mga netizens through memes at bad publicity dahil sa kanyang mga nonsensical na sagot, mga temper tantrums at yung kanyang huwarang pagdeklara ng crusade laban sa Administrasyong Marcos from the, I think, very start. She may not like na tinanong siya kung saan gagamitin ang kaban ng bayan. She may not like the fact na becoming increasingly unpopular na siya. She may not like question na itatanong. But she must answer it, else should get the least amount of budget in the history of the last 12 years. Kumbaga maraming ang tao na nagsisabi na kung hindi niya i-defend yung budget na kanyang pinopropose, well, bigyan natin siya ng zero budget. You know what? Even better, i-impeach siya. To which, what she said was, wala naman akong paka sa position ko. Like, it doesn't really matter. I don't hold this office that much. Blah, 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 blah. Kumbaga, wala siyang pake kung i-impeach siya. But, sure buddy. Simula nung nanalo sila Marcos, kontra na lang siya ng kontra. Puro iskandalo ang mga nangyayari, kaakibat ang pangalan niya. Meanwhile, Marcos is not affected in any way, or if so, only a little bit. Pangalawa, it's because she's gauging whether kahit ba hindi niya depensahan ang kanyang budget ay maipapasa ito. Basically, gauging kung may puwersa pa siya, may political hold pa siya sa politika gaya ng natamasa niya nung siya'y tumakbo as vice-presidente because she was also being considered as the presumptive president of the Philippines. Pero again, sinabi nga ni Duterte, bakit hindi na lang siya ang tumakbo as the president of the Philippines? Bakit hindi lang si Sara tumakbo? Because she's more popular than Marcos himself. And she got a higher vote count and higher person than Marcos himself. Kung mas marami siyang boto as the vice president. So that's like unheard of, I think. I'm not sure. Is she gearing up for the presidency para sa 2028? It seems like laban na lang ng laban ang mga Marcos at Duterte, with Duterte's provoking or kind of burning the bridge. She's gearing up, and one way she can estimate kung gaano kalakas ang kanyang suporta is through this dangerously dumb move dahil humihina na ang hatak ng mga Duterte sa ating bansa. Si Marcos hindi naman ganun ka-controversial sa kanyang termino compared to VP Sara Duterte na nag-resign nang hindi naging House Speaker si dating Pangulo GMA. Nahalungkat ang kanyang confidential at intelligence fund lumaban sa pinupursue ni President Marcos Jr. na constitutional amendment, bangayan ng mga Marcos at Duterte. Lahat yan culminated to her being the personal political opposition laban kay Marcos without actually saying anything against Marcos himself. Dahil alam niya na if she burned bridges too early at with direct hit kay Marcos, goodbye na sa kanyang posisyon. Goodbye na sa kanyang impluensya. She's by no means the true political opposition, and I have already said that a million times. Lalo na nung nag-resign siya sa DepEd Secretary position. She is not the honorary or what you would call as the ideal opposition. She's just a namemersonal na political opposition, pero not the opposition that you would attribute to someone that is actually purporting for, I don't know, freedom of press or whatever. I mean, that's what Marcos is paying lip service to as well. Pero, there's a lot of stuff na going on. And, Marcos, his ideology, it's not bad per se. It's not something that you would scoff at. It's not as disagreeable as the MAGA Republicans in the United States of America. I don't see that with Marcos. The only objection I have with Marcos is the fact that she's trying to whitewash the Marcos name by being, a good enough, a kind of Ninoy Aquino III-esque style of politicking. She's by no means the true political opposition laban sa rehimeng Marcos Jr., but she'd be what they call, or what we would call, as a useful idiot na pwedeng dumungi sa persepsyon ng tao kay President Marcos Jr. Ikinukumpara rin siya kay former Vice President Robredo dahil in the entirety of her term, mabilisan lang ang pag-scrutinize ng kanyang proposed budget under a Duterte administration at Duterte majority. Nakapagpasaras pa sila ng ABS-CBN. Ilang minuto or sometimes even the lawmakers are promising or even kind of pledging na bibigyan or dadagdagan pa ang kanyang budget. And that's under Duterte administration at Duterte majority Congress.
I shall now address the issues that are germane to the use of public funds. It is my belief that it would be a stretch, if not absurd, to compare the budget of my immediate predecessor to the present budget proposal. We do not have personal knowledge as to why she did not request for a fair budget for her projects.
You would think na in an increasingly hostile environment sa isang opisyal na tinuturing na oposisyon ng gobyerno na paulit-ulit dinudungisan ang pangalan dahil sa kanyang political party affiliation nung siya'y tumakbo at kung saan siya'y nanalo in an antagonistic relationship, or at least that's what they are trying to portray. VP Leni Robredo's kind of speaking out against, I don't know, war on drugs and all that stuff in an antagonistic relationship with the person in charge. Hindi bibigyan ng budget o pahihirapan ng pero o kontrero, mon ami. It's just the fact na, you know, the partisan politics back then is surely damaging to Leni Robredo, but that doesn't negate the fact na the Congress unilaterally voted or even encouraged the increase in VP Leni Robredo's budget proposals. Again, sinabi nga natin na pinupush pa or pinapromise pa ng ilang lawmaker na itataas pa or dadagdagan pa yung kanyang budget just because of what she has accomplished tangibly. Tila'y masyadong trustworthy si Vice President Leni Robredo compared to VP Sara right now. That even in a populist pro-Duterte political climate, the lawmakers recognize na tapat maglingkod si dating Vice President Leni Robredo. Unlike Duterte or VP Duterte, mas marami ang nakuhang boto sa presidente in a landslide. As you can see na hindi niya dapat to na-encounter. She's a popular political figure and the daughter and the successor or honorary successor of the popular populist president. Tila'y nagbe-break siya under the slightest hint of pressure or opposition sa kanyang budget. Para siyang pusang na corner na galit with her guards up. Parang everyone is out to get her. And that they, or at least that may be the case. Talagang ang dami niya ng bridge na sinunog. What could have been a unified executive branch ng gobyerno turned into the vice president being antagonistic with the president, even more than the previous duos. Two teammates in the same political ticket with a popular populist or increased popularity just doesn't seem to get along. Sinabi niyang hindi niya alam kung bakit hindi humingi si VP Leni ng nararapat na budget para sa kanya, seemingly saying na humihingi siya ng rasonableng budget at hindi niya kasalanan kung hindi humingi si Leni ng something right for her. All of this started dahil ayaw niyang sagutin na maayos sa tanong o yung tanong ni Senator Rizal Tiveros kung ano ang nilalaman ng libro na supposedly sinulat niya with discovered errors exposed by Representative Raul Manuel.
Ask the resource person to tell the name, pero baka hindi pa nadidistinguish ano yung tanong, ano yung hindi. Pero since ayaw pong ibigay yung name ng editor ng children's book, ito kasi yung point natin, Madam Chair. The book contains many errors. Sige po, pakita po natin. Kasama po dyan dahon ng banahaw. Wala naman pong dahon ng banahaw. Baka anahaw po yung tinutukoy. Yung word na sila, dapat po sina. Tapos yung walang awa, dapat nga may hyphen po yan. Tapos, Madam Chair, nakalagay din yung pugad daw ng kwago ay nakapatong sa sanga. Madam Chair, sabi ng mga eksperto, ang owl's nest hindi po ay nakapatong sa sanga. Nasa either butas po yan ng mga puno or nasa ilalim ng lupa. Next, Madam Chair, this book is not child-friendly as per our writers kasi, and actually, ang topic na nga natin, 2025 budget, gusto ng resource person, we limit to the 2025 budget, pero hindi pa rin sinasagot. But this book, Madam Chair, will just contribute to the worsening of the learning crisis. Hindi po siya actually ay makabata. Ano? Kaya, Madam Chair, Before I end sa second round, kasi kanina meron din pong ad hominem sa atin, meron pang disinformation about this representation. Madam Chair, kung okay lang naman yung mga libro at halimbawa kung totoo pa kayong sinasabi about me, I would even suggest sa OVP, dagdagan yung budget, baka makalimang libro pa ang Vice Presidente. Pwede pa nga may special edition tungkol sa kwento ng buhay ko. Pero given Madam Chair na hindi din talaga pumapasa sa standards ng pagsusulat ng libro. And I also think, Madam Chair, na throughout this hearing, hindi successfully na-defend yung budget ng Office of the Vice President. So ako, personally, I'm inclined na hindi natin i-terminate yung budget briefing for the Office of the Vice President. So yun na lang muna, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Madam Vice President.
Yes. The name of the editor of the book is Raul Manuel. It's a joke, ma'am. You strike it out of the record if you want.
Kibuloy, ni-raid na naman uli. Sinabihan na naman muli ng warrant of arrest si Kingdom of Jesus Christ at honorary chairman ng Sunshine Media Network International na si Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy or PAQ. Tinatayang mahigit 2,000 police or even more ang pumunta sa compound ng KOJC para ihain ang warrant of arrest kay Pastor Kibuloy. This serving of the warrant of arrest para sa mga kasong ipinapatong or pinatong kay Kibuloy is the second and is as controversial as the first one, if not even more, kasi marami tayong nakikita sa Facebook and TikTok and all that stuff na kind of backlash with the PNP's way of serving the warrant. Maraming taga-suporta ni Kibuloy ang nakapaligid sa compound seemingly knowing, katulad din nung ni-raid last June na papunta at i-attempt arrestuhin ang kanilang pastor. Now, who the fuck keeps leaking sa KOJC at sa mga suporta ni or supporters ni Kibuloy na pupunta ang police para arrestuhin ang self-appointed Son of God and owner of the whole damn universe? Or maybe wala talagang nag-leak at omniscient lang si Kibuloy because again, he's the Son of God business and all of that. Matatandaan nating last June ay hinainan at ni-raid ang compound ni Pastor Kibuloy. By the way, you can check my NIDW mini major tidbit for that or NIDW recap number 55 for more info regarding the raid sa compound ni Pastor Kibuloy, which was controversial because of the alleged excessive use of force na ginamit umano para ma-disperse ang crowd na humarang sa pulisya and the number of policemen na nag-raid sa compound. And even now, I don't think it is finished. I said to myself na it is a perfectly reasonable amount of police force na ma-deploy sa Davao to get quickly or to get Kibuloy quickly because they stood corrected when hundreds of Kibuloy supporters impeded the due process of the law by barricading sa harap ng compound ni Kibuloy. Hindi siya nahanap noon and as of writing this episode and even recording this episode hindi pa rin siya nahanap, although the PNP forces theorized due to the alleged signs of life daw na baka nasa isang underground basement ang pastor, although again they have yet to actually find the pastor. And sa laki ng compound ni Kibuloy mahirapan silang ma-search lahat yon, not to mention underground because as I said, they have that malaking thing, heartbeat sensor yata yun, tapos pinpoint nila sa baba, tapos meron sila nakikitang heartbeat or something, I don't know, pero tapos marami pang tao na humaharang sa kanila, especially sa isang parte ng compound ni Kibuloy where a lot of belligerent supporters ng KOJC hindi pinapayagan ang PNP, so they're impeding the due process of the law. Hindi siya mahanap noon, and as of writing this episode, again, hindi siya nahanap. And also, there's a lot of, I think there are 2 people na na-retrieve from the KOJC compound where, again, pinipigilan daw silang umalis sa compound na yun. And, there's a lot of people na nahimatay. Meron pang namatay. But that's because of probably exhaustion at, since matagal na silang nag-antay or nagbabantay sa mga police, kind of impeding them again and again. Basically, the raid was conducted because of cases na kanyang kinakaharap under RA 7610 or the Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act and Qualified trafficking under RA 9208 na ipinatatag from Pasig Court. Now, I have already kind of discussed everything before that, so just check those videos out. He was also under an arrest warrant for snubbing the Senate committee headed by Senator Brizon Tiveros investigating the alleged crimes he committed with regards to sexual abuse and trafficking charges, not to mention the warrant of arrest and contempt warning that he got from House of Representatives when he was ordered to attend the meeting dahil sa Sunshine Media Network International kerfuffle na nangyari. You can also watch my NIDW recaps for that as well as for a comprehensive review on the happenings sa ating political circus and, Kibuloy. Hinimok ng Commission on Human Rights na magpigil at i-practice ang restraint when serving the warrant, so that's great. Kasi that means na everyone is indeed under their mandate, kahit na kupal ka, and that you're possibly responsible for crimes they do not like. It's the thing that will, in a reasonable line of thought, lead you to their mission na they're interested more in rehabilitation than punishment, no matter who the offender is or what they have done. Former President Rodrigo Duterte and Vice President Sara Duterte also released statements following the KOJC compound raid that is still ongoing to this day, habang hindi pa nila nahanap si Pastor Apollo Carrion Kibuloy. Meanwhile, Senator Bato de la Rosa urged Kibuloy to surrender as well. See the situational irony with former President Rodrigo Duterte and Vice President Sara Duterte's statements. When FPRRD was in power, he told his police force to kill, shoot first before asking questions, kill those suspected of illegal drug use, and even some innocent ones. Now, sinabi ni FPRRD, our country has never been in a more tragic state as it is today. Rights have been trampled upon and our laws derided. Look who's talking. Preaching about human rights when you willfully did not do yourself during your term. That's hypocrisy at its finest. Now, I could excuse the whole break a few eggs, create an omelette comment nugget, I think si Senator Bato de la Rosa nagsabi doon. Because it is true, some innocent lives will be thrown in the mix, but you must also take accountability for that innocent person's death. At least seem empathetic. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, the whole funny thing with them ardently supporting and calling out the PNP for the alleged use of excessive force when their support and defense of the accused is a clear indication that the alleged use of excessive force is perfectly adequate, if not inadequate. Kasi again, kung sinusuportahan nila and dinidepensahan nila, they're calling for people to stop the PNP, they're the former president of the Philippines at vice president of the Philippines today. Tapos sasabihin mo that the use of force was excessive, meron silang backer na katulad mo. Tapos meron pang 5 or 6, 7, 8 na senador na nasa likod ni Kibuloy. So, you're saying na excessive yung amount of force when clearly, yung pagsuporta nyo pa lang is a sign na hindi excessive yung force na ginamit, that it's perfectly adequate or even appropriate, if not inadequate. Kibuloy is a powerful individual with particularly rabid congregation and political leaders supporting him. A possible undeclared, untaxed billionaire with all the resources in the world that he would ever need. It is a perfectly reasonable, if not inadequate use of force from the PNP. Pero, you know what? Don't take my word as gospel for, again, the PNP should practice restraint in these instances dahil napaka-sensitive at controversial nitong sitwasyong ito. And you know what? In general, practice restraint. Just like the CHR, practice restraint while also keeping a keen eye on the compound following the due process of the law. Do not mind the supporters na hinihekal kayo o kaya pinipigilan kayo. Just do your jobs and we'll be fine. Here is a PH News for your convenience. Shirley Guo, Cassandra Leong, nahuli sa Indonesia. Nahuli sa Indonesia ang ilan sa mga kasama ni suspended Baban Mayor and alleged Pogo illicit conspirator Alice Guo or Goa Pim sa Indonesia a few days after malamang nakalis na Alice, Shirley, Wesley Guo, and Cassandra Leong sa Pilipinas noong Hulyo with possible help from local officials despite being in the Immigration Local Bulletin and a billion Senate contempt orders or some stuff. I forget. Si Shirley Guo ay isa sa dalawang known sibling of Mayor Alice Leal Guo. Meanwhile, si Cassandra Leong is apparently Wesley Guo's girlfriend and the point person for the Lucky South 99 Whirlpool Pogo Hub na ni-raid following the alleged illicit activities including torture, human trafficking, scams, and among other things. She's also a client of former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque, whom assisted her in incorporating, I don't know really, Lucky South 99 Pogo Hub. Ito na nga ang talagang laban na matagal nating iniintay. Ang laban ng kadiliman at ng kasamaan. A Freudian slip by our favorite Henrietta and their supporters. Remember when Harry Roque was actually a pretty cool guy? Lalo na noong siya ang naging lawyer ng pamilya na pinaslang ng transgender Pinay Jennifer Laude at nilabanan yung kano. I remember him noon sa TV and was quite surprised na palitan niya si dating pagsalita ni Duterte na si Panelo. And thinking it's a good thing that there's someone in the executive department with that kind of history in public service, defending or at least representing the family of the transgender Pinay na napatay ng isang kano. And yes, I'll call that as public service, fighting for injustice and retribution to the wrongful and horrible death of a trans woman is a fight worth admiring. And yes, again, that for me is public service. Because you push out or make a name for yourself, but also to actually gain the necessary support at consciousness with regards to trans rights. At yun ang pagtatapos ng news and worthy recap with edition for roughly the 4th week of August 2024. Mag-suggest some more topics and or corrections to the balitas if you feel I'm misrepresented them in any way. Sana naman siya mananagan nga may warming like, subscribe for naman search na nabo. Choose it and link down below. So she's really of course. Alam, kaya nauna na. At saan init pa. Wait, ano ulit nyo salamat sa panonood mga kabayang Avor me, like, subscribe, and follow my links and socials on Avor. Choose set of will be linked down below. So susunod muli, of course. Paalam. Ano doing?